everybody, what is up? Welcome back to another Lockboss show and giveaway. I'm PJ, of course. I am happy to be with you here today. We have all sorts of stuff going on. Excited to share some of it with you today in the show. Few things first, and maybe most importantly, cheers to you out there drinking a topo or your favorite beverage of choice. So cheers to everybody out there. I've been waiting for a few minutes now to take this sip. Amazing. Just can't ever get enough of it, if you ask me. I don't know what to say, guys. Oh, man. Well, I tell you what, here in just a little bit, we're going to be going over the third and final segment of the Locksmith Ledger's State of the Industry survey that came out recently. Now, of course, you can go to their website and you can download it and read through it all in great detail by yourself. I love taking the opportunity to really kind of look at some of the points like we've been doing these past few weeks, and then today I'm just kind of talking through them together. I think it's really good and really helpful, and I think a lot of these subjects, if we weren't if a study like this wasn't done, like how often would these type of conversations get brought up, right? So thank you, Locksmith Ledger, for doing it. So yeah, with that being said, I have a few other things. So before we hop into the show, first and foremost, if you like the Lockboss show and you want more where that came from, we have an after party. It's in our friend Jimmy J, also known as the Iowa Lock Docs Discord. I see he just posted a link to it in the comments. And if you're watching right now, you're welcome. All right. If you're watching, you're welcome. So go click on in there, come join the conversation. It's a lot of fun. I mean, man, I tell you what, we were riffing for hours last week. So a lot of fun, actually. Good conversations, guys. And man, one of the best part is, of course, like I see so many different usernames, so many different names in the system, but it's really awesome to talk and hang out and, allow you guys to, guys and gals, to make fun of me in the after party. So thank you for that. But no, it's a lot of fun, a lot of great relationships, a lot of good stuff in the Discord. So if you want to check that out, well, you are more than welcome to. Next, man, I tell you what, we've been working hard on Lockboss season 4. I'm essentially just waiting. I don't know if it's going to hit the new year perfectly or not. I'm actually waiting for stuff. So I'm making an all brand new studio. As a matter of fact, everything's going to look different outside of me, just a little older. But so with that, when the new studio comes out, we're going to go ahead and we'll switch to season 4. So really excited about that. I finally shared all my thoughts with the team about it, and it's going to be interesting, guys. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot different than it is today. So excited for that. And in my Locksmith, this would be this will be studio number 3. It'll still be here, but it'll be the third iteration, and I'm excited about it. Really, it's fun to mix it up and different, and it's one of those things that, like, how do you describe it? I don't know. Well, first of all, I like to change things up. Okay, that's just part of it. But second of all, like, I've never been as excited for the next season, really. So it's be pretty cool. See a birthday. Someone says that someone's birthday in there. Whose birthday? Let me see here. Man, I cannot find it in there, but happy birthday to whoever it is. Man, I can't find it in the chat. But speaking of, why isn't the chat on? There we go. All right. So yeah, so we'll be doing that, having season 4 come out. I don't know, sometime between well, man, we may have, yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully. So I've been waiting I ordered a custom toolbox bench that goes kind of end to end behind me, just like one big piece essentially. I've been waiting for it. And then I have all the other, just about all the other stuff already downstairs. So yeah, pretty excited about it. Pretty excited. But also, okay, before we hop in the show here, one last thing. Here in just a little bit, don't let me forget, Kisa actually just came out with this new 1mm tracer. Okay. It's a 1mm tracer. And so if you, this tracer is going to work for the Black Widow, the Triton, it's going to work for the X-Horse machines, the SEC machine, a whole bunch of them. So if you have a Triton, Black Widow, Maverick, what other? Yeah, the X-Horse machines. This cutter will work. But it's what I want to do just for you all who are listening today. I'm going to give you a coupon code that you're going to be able to put in and buy this cutter for free. Now, if you have a free shipping order, there won't be any shipping either, right? Otherwise, the tracer here will be free, and then you'll have to pay for shipping. But I'm going to be giving a code out that will work for the first 5 people. Okay, first 5 people get this free tracer. You can check it out. Pretty cool, though. Pretty excited about it. I didn't get a chance. I just got these today and have not had a chance to pop her in the old Black Widow right there. But all right. With that being said, I don't know, guys. At what point do you think I should allow Julio out of the penalty box? A few weeks ago, if you remember, Julio was getting all crazy out there. Okay. Remember hurting people's ears, carrying on. And so I don't know, you're just going to have to let me know, when you think Julio should get out of the penalty box and start making noise. So let me know what you think there. But with that being said, let's go and hop into today's show. All right, here we go. And all right, Julio, if you could put a little music on, okay? I like having a little music on when I'm doing this. So Julio, I'll get started and then go ahead and put some music on whenever you'd like. All right, so okay, Lockboss posts of the week. This one comes from what is it? From Alexander M. Says, supplies. Look at this quickset deadbolt Alexander M. found installed on a storefront door. That door needs a high security hardware upgrade pronto. Man, I tell you, look at that. So it's a storefront door, which if you're not too familiar, they typically use the Adams Wright style latching system. And it looks like someone just went ahead, just popped a plate around the door and put a quickset deadbolt on, which is pretty wild. Now, I'm guessing, they wouldn't have to do, let me think about this. I'm trying to think, would they have to make extra holes? Or with the deadbolt or the tailpiece. Yeah, I bet you they'd have to. They'd at least have to drill a hole or two. Man, that is wild. That's a good find there, Alexander M. Pretty wild, I tell ya. Very impressed by the way that they had to remove the handle to put that plate on, and it looks like only one base normal type screw at the top. Looks like the screw at the bottom is missing. That's interesting. I mean, like, maybe an A for creativity and for hard work or something. I don't really know. That's a good find, though. Thank you for sending that in. All right. All right. How am I supposed to stay focused after that? How am I supposed to stay focused after that one? All right. Let's see here. Comment of the week. This one comes from Roadside Towing 1847. Great video. Now I understand how to take them apart all the way. I got a call for one with all lost keys. Of course, restaurant manager said he didn't see no code on the cylinder. So I made master keys for them and got there, and it showed the key code. Yes. But I made the correct keys and rekeyed the mortar cylinder, got the job completed. Good work there. Hey, I like that prepping ahead of time, right? You're like, listen, there's no code there, and you know what? I could use a set of keys, try out keys anyways, and you just made it happen. Isn't it funny? A lot of times, like, if you prepare yourself to be prepared for the job, a lot of times it ends up being more simple, right? But if you don't prepare, at least in my experience, you get a lesson in remembering to be prepared. So that's really good. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, and by the way, and I need to do a video recap here at some point soon and kind of deep dive, and I need to get DTEX on again here. But man, it was so much fun being in the DTEX warehouse and assembling the items like the EAX. I mean, it was as happy as I looked in that video, I was that happy. It was a lot of fun, and it's just cool. You know, I think like so many of you, right? Like, there's parts and pieces that you use all the time, and to be able to actually not only see how it's made, but to make one on the factory floor was something that I won't forget. I absolutely love it, to be honest with you. And I don't have it here, but they actually sent me the one I made. Now, after reading some of your comments about my few little issues with the circuit board, I'm starting to think that the reason they sent it to me is because they're like, no way we're sending this out in the field and warrantying it. But fair enough, by the way. Okay, guilty. But I actually have it downstairs. I should have brought it up there for my hands. But yeah, pretty cool, I tell you. A lot of fun. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. So we're going to be talking about what Locksmiths are really charging right now. We're going to get into a little bit more electronics. And then, of course, I have a few questions for you at the end. All right, so let me take a sip here and hop right in. And I better, you don't need to put the confession music on, but I do need to say I've been drinking this Topo, and I've been drinking Risky here, just some black coffee without a lid. Okay, that's how you know I'm living dangerously right now, is no lid. I mean, we're one spill away from chaos, but I like it. But so I'm drinking a little. It is probably a little later than 4:14 here in Idaho, but hey, let's keep her going. All right. So, of course, if you've missed the last two lives, just go to our channel, look at the live section, and we've been covering most of the sections that are in the State of the Industry survey the Locksmith Ledger puts out. And, of course, there's a lot of text and their thoughts and conclusions a little bit in that as well. So definitely support them. And, yeah. All right, here we go. First one up is service calls. Has your pricing changed in the past year? Let's take a look at this. Looking at the biggest piece of the pie, 32% says higher product cost passed on to customers, which is, of course, good. Next group, 28%. Service call labor charges increased 0 to 10%. Next up, 22% said our prices have stayed the same. 17% says service call labor prices increased more than 10%. And then 0.5%, which is a very interesting, says I added a surcharge for gas or mileage. So interesting. Of course, like with all the different cost increases this year, it's good to see that the majority of you have increased prices. Seems healthy to me, right? If you're one of the 22% that our prices have stayed the same, I'd be, and we'll dive into a few questions later, but I'd be really curious, honestly, just curiosity wise, like, has that affected your bottom line? Kind of what went into that decision? Obviously, you probably have some reasons for that. I think it'd be interesting to hear them. All right, next up here is what is your average service call rate during business hours? I like this one a lot here. Okay, so the highest percent was 39%. Said that their service call rate, which I'm going to, for the record here, for right or wrong, I'm going to assume that means that's your service call fee or your trip charge, as the Lockfather would call it. So 39% of you say it's between $75 and $100. 31% says it's $100 or more. 23% say $50 to $75. And lastly, 6% said under 50. So if we look at that, I mean, it's if 75 or higher for sure is the biggest percentage of what's going on there. Of course, drop what yours is in the chat if you'd like. Dad, if you're out there, Lockfather, what is your current trip charge right now? I'd like to know. All right. Here we go. Electronic access control. What effect will electronics have on your locking solutions in the next 3 years? 29% say electronics will be a major driver of my product portfolio. 56%, also known as the majority, says electronics will complement my existing portfolio, but won't be a primary consideration. It's very interesting. Very interesting. And then last but not least, 15% said electronics won't factor in at all. All right. Very, very interesting. Man, I just have so many questions, I mean, if I gave a survey and like click on one of those, I'd probably have like 3, 4, or 5 different follow-up questions to each one, right? Because I'm just so like, for example, if electronics won't factor in at all, like I mean, I guess if you're doing automotive work and you view this as just talking about electronic access for like residential, commercial type stuff, that makes sense. So I'd probably assume that's what that means. Interesting. All right, next question here. How much does your business expect to implement with respect to electronic access control in the next year? So in other words, like, do you plan to implement or do more electronic access control in the next year? 40% believes more than before, 43% the same as before, 2% says less, and 15% said don't expect to implement access controls, implement solutions for electronic access control. Yeah, that's pretty fascinating. I mean, the majority, 83%, either says the same or more. So seems to really make sense, right? I mean, of course, like I think most of us would agree to some degree, like the mechanical side is just always going to be there. Whether or not on a lot of doors or locks you use the mechanical part, you know, is kind of to be determined on applications, right? It seems like the bigger the operation, the more carding and access control type stuff that happens, and then that either, you know, the smaller business or that type of thing seems to kind of be more manual. But yeah, very interesting. All right, good stuff. All right, well, let's hop into the questions. Are you ready for them? Are you ready for them? And as a matter of fact, let me look at the comments here. Did my dad say what his rate is? Okay, here it is. There, let me pop it on the screen here. Minimum $75. Okay, seems like a pretty popular here. You know what? Let's hop into that in a minute here on the first question. Oh, we have one more here. All right, what product segment has shown the most growth in the past 12 months? Coming in at the top is 21% say automotive, 20% say access control, 16.5% say mechanical door hardware. And then it starts, you know, electrified door hardware, 10%. And then it just starts to melt off from there. None, safe locks, video surveillance, other, home automation, safes. It's kind of like just kind of melted off. But yeah, automotive being number one. You know, and I think it's one of those things that automotive is definitely, I feel like we're in the middle of, and tell me what you think, by the way, I'm really curious on this, but I really feel like automotive is when the Y160 key and the H75 key came out in the late 90s, and people, you know, just got used to VATS keys, you know, essentially. And then those came around and it was like this whole new thing. You remember Jet Hardware, you know, which isn't even around anymore, had the NGS. I remember selling the NGS back in the day. That was a hot item. I programmed quite a few keys on the NGS when I was working for my dad. So pretty cool. But, you know, it was like this huge transition. And I kind of feel like right now with where the technology is at in keys, it's kind of like, you know, like the third phase, so to speak. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. Of course, interested what yours are. And then access control, you know, it's kind of leading up to a couple of those, you know, these access control questions is pretty cool. But all right, here we go. First question, which we already started a little bit. Drop your service rate into the chat. Are you team under 75, team 75 to 100, or are you in the prestigious $100 plus club? Now, many of you have already answered this, so thank you for that. We got $75. Dakota, how we doing? Says 125 min, 165 max. Key says 150. James Estep 75. Has $60. Let's keep going here. Did I miss some? Maybe I have to go back the other way. All right, I'm gonna go back the other way here. Vernon, what's up? Says $75 within 25 miles, and add $1 per mile. Very nice. Yeah, 75. The one and only Jimmy J says 75 to 100. Jamie Hernandez, 75 to 100, or usually $80. Okay. 75 to 100, 75. Okay, yeah. So it looks like from what I'm seeing here of those of you live with us right now, compared to the survey is actually really on spot here with like the overwhelming majority 75 and up. So very cool. Very cool. All right, let's hop into the next question, which is wow. Automotive is the #1 growth segment right now. Do you love it or hate it? And the reason I like to ask that question is automotive seems more than anything, key programming, that sort of thing, making keys for older vehicles even. It seems like people either love it or hate it. They're like, hey, this is a big money maker, or no way, gave it up, or I'll only do the basics, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Love it, do it, neither, enjoy it. Okay. Yeah, that's a good word. Both. Yep. You absolutely love it when it says successful program and the vehicle starts, and you hate it when it says successful program and it doesn't, right? Oh, have mercy. All right. I like it. Well, let's do the one last question here, which is electronic access control. Are you riding the wave or are you waiting it out? That I think the most, to me, okay, and I'm just talking, I've kind of hinted on this a little bit a few times previously. But the interesting thing about like residential like access control, electronic, has kind of went D to C, right? Like it's just like a different animal. At the same time, also like the big volume electronic access, like hotel locks and that sort of thing in, the commercial application has its own kind of channels that it kind of goes through. Right. And so, we're like in this, like, I don't know, the meat and the sandwich on this one, which, by the way, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there, in particular, with the Wi-Fi, with the Bluetooth, with the, as Jimmy J says, the Z-Wave, right? I mean, the Z-Wave is kind of like the, it's like the protocol. It's like the protocol for like the IoT, the Internet of Things for like residential smart stuff, right? I guess smart stuff. Typically, a lot of times if you see the word smart on a lock or a doorbell or, whatever it might be, it's typically like a Z-Wave type of a thing. Not always, but all right. So yeah, we see a lot of, some are writing it alone. Yeah, we'll do standalone. They like to learn more about access control. Let's see. Riding the wave. Okay, I like it. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity out there now. I mean, if you really think about it, between all the electronic access and all of the automotive that's happening, it's a pretty cool opportunity out there for everybody. But let's see here. Z-Wave, yes. All right, there we go. Well, hey, there you go. That is today's show as far as that main segment there, going over that. Of course, if you haven't dropped a comment yet, we'd love to hear from you in the chat on all those topics. Pretty cool, though. I think the fact that so much of that survey really seems to line up with all the comments we're seeing live here, between the amount of people that either love or don't love automotive or access control, that sort of thing. So pretty cool to see there. Yeah, I like that. I like the comment here, says double-edged sword in ways. I think it's, yep. Rode the wave 20 years ago, not so much anymore. Yeah, it's, man, I tell you, it's all of them in a lot of ways are pretty tough. But at the same time, there's a lot of opportunity there. And it's really just taking the time to, yeah, of course, you have to invest in the equipment, but you have to learn, right? And kind of learning that stuff's pretty good. So, yeah, when someone says RVs in my area, yeah, absolutely. Well, if you remember a while back, we did that. I did that video with Identikey showing that RV lock, like the brand RV lock, and some keys that fit it. But yeah, the funny part about the RV lock, though, with the mechanical key, is it looks like when I was on their website, the most popular things that they sell is like push button RV locks, right? Take your old one off, put the new one on. You don't have to worry about keys, and you can go ding, 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 and kind of get in there. But it's just kind of the irony of the fact that so many people are looking for keys for those, is kind of funny. But anyways, all right. Hey, let's talk about this here really quick once again. So Kisa came out with this new 1mm tracer. Okay. This tracer is going to work on the Triton, the Black Widow. It's going to work on the X-Horse machines. It has that little notch in it, so it'll do that. But let's see, there we go. All right, and so yeah, so we just got a test batch of 20 of them in, and I would like to give away 5 of them. Okay, and to give away 5, all you have to do is the part number here. Let me grab the part number. We have to actually switch this part number, but this is what it is at the moment. Let me find it here. Let me put it in the chat. Okay. So this is the part number. Let's put it in the chat there. And is what you do is if you add, so the first 5 people, so I don't know if it'll happen right away or over the next days, whatever it might be. If you put one of these into your cart and then enter the code. Now let me just pull it up here. Okay, here we go. The code is, it's real creative. Try me, one word, TRYME. And put that in your cart. Now, of course, if you have free shipping, if it's $150 or more, it'll be free shipping. If it is under $150, there will be a shipping fee on there, but the cutter itself or the tracer will be free. So the 1mm tracer for like the Triton, for the Black Widow, all the machines, it's like the standard tracer that goes in there, and that way it's going to pretty much decode anything that you need, essentially. But it's going to be the most popular one that you'll be using all the time for sure. So yeah, and that yeah, so the price is good, but the best part is yeah, let's figure you guys are here, we're hanging out, and we're talking about pricing, we're talking about surveys, we're talking about different stuff, and I figure it'd be fun to hook 5 people up. Now it'll only allow you to get a discount on one, right? So we can do 5 different people if you want them, but they're there. One more time, just to be clear, the part number is in the chat. It's this new Kisa cutter. Or why do I keep saying Kisa cutter? It's Kisa tracer. There we go. Kisa tracer works for the Black Widow, the Triton, the Maverick, the X-Horse machines, a lot of them, right? And you can add it to your cart. Use code TRY ME, one word, TRYME, all one word, and you can get the tracer for free. Try it out. And hey, if you get one, if you're one of the 5 who gets one, try it out. Of course, would love feedback on that sort of thing. There you have it. All right. So let's get on to this week's 5 lucky winners. How about that? How about that? Here we go. Now, of course, before we announce the 5 winners. Make sure up. There we go, Julio. You're jamming now. You're jamming. All right. Now, before I announce the 5 winners, let's get on the same page on what to do if you win. You want to email us your shipping info to sales@clksupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. No purchase necessary. How about that? All right, here we go. Winner number 1 is Cam Locksmith. Congratulations. Winner number 2 is Dallas Henson. Congrats. Winner number 3 is user-BQ4M. Congratulations. Winner number 4 is James Bond Forever. Congratulations. And last but not least, winner number 5 this week is Brad's Lock and Key. Congratulations. Very, very cool. So, hey guys, so there you have it. That's the show today. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you, being here, chatting about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And thank you to everyone who has been commenting. And yeah, it's really good stuff here. And let's see here. Let me see what I'm looking at here. Look at the comments. And Julio, if you would not mind turning that music off, I have a hard time thinking with it on. But or volume down is fine. Either one's cool. All right, so yeah, once again, congrats to the winners. Hopefully, 5 of you are able to get this tracer for free. Check it out. Of course, love the feedback. If you want to come, if you've been having fun today, go ahead and you can give us a like here on this post. That'd be pretty awesome. And outside of that, if you want more where that came from, you can head on over to Jimmy J's Discord, hang out with us. I will be on there here just a little bit for a little while. And yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I tell you what, there's a few things. We got a whole bunch of stuff we're cooking in the oven. And, all I can say is I'm really excited about season 4. And we're going to start it as soon as the new stuff arrives for the studio. Now, I ordered it back in, Lily, when did we talk about that? Like, I almost want to say it was October. So we've been waiting to get all the stuff for a few months now and hoping with any luck, one would be cool, is that if it were to come in like between now and like Christmas or something, and then a day or 2 after Christmas, I could come in, maybe get my kids or something and help and get it all assembled. That'd be kind of fun. But, or I don't know, maybe that would be my definition of fun. I have a funny feeling that they would have a different definition of fun. But yeah, let's see here. Ed says, PJ, thanks for the fast shipping from me the other day for the things I ordered. Absolutely, Ed. Thank you so much for the business. Dakota says, what's up? Says, I love wearing that same shirt, especially when I have to explain the breakdown of a lock. Yes, I like it. I love these. By the way, as you know, my favorite shirt in the world right now is these New Era ones that we print on, that we make these shirts with. So they're pretty awesome. They're comfy. They last and all that kind of stuff. And of course, it's the only type we could hook you guys up with, all the lock bosses out there, because you deserve the best. That's my standpoint. But anyways, all right. Well, hey, it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed being here with you today. Of course, stay safe out there doing that lock and key work. All right. And hopefully we'll see you back here, same place, same time next week. All right, everybody, have a good one, and we'll catch you later.